All law students prepare resumes, and the resume is really sort of the first impression. The idea, of course, is to capture yourself in using the written word on a single page. Ideally, you do it in a way that sets your resume apart from the hundreds of others that come in.
One of the first things you start to think about is where you want to have a career. And you start doing research on the size of firm, the type of practice areas you want to get involved in, and it's really an exploratory period where you look around and explore your options. A lot of it came down to reputation, the availability of different practice groups, because I didn't know exactly what area of law I wanted to go into, and I just kept my mind open really for the interviewing season.
Usually when I talk to law students about how to put together their resume, I sort of start with the end and work back to the beginning. So I tell folks, when you're working on your resume, ask yourself, what kind of impression do I want to give the reader? What sort of story do I want to tell? What sort of characteristics or experiences do I want to highlight?
I'd gone to a business school before law school, and that's really where we started the resume making process, and it's a work in progress, and I think it always will be. It's something that every time you achieve something, you need to update that resume, and it's one of those things too that you want to have as many people look at as possible, many people critique, and really seek out that constructive criticism.
There are an awful lot of resumes that come through the door in any given day, and it ought to stand out, not just from a substantive standpoint, but it ought to stand out just from an optical standpoint. You want to have enough white space on the page so that it's not daunting or intimidating to read. You want to make sure there's not too much white space, because when that happens, you sort of look at the resume and you say, this person's done nothing with their life, and that's, of course, not the impression you want to give either.
Many people come to an interviewing process and their idea is that the interview is very formal. The firm's looking to see whether your personality would fit with the firm culture, and you're trying to see whether your personality will fit, both at the same time. So if you're getting pleasant vibes and if you're happy during this interviewing process, if you're relaxed, calm, and basically conversing well with the people, then I think it's a good sign on both parts.
Come in and have a firm handshake. Doesn't have to be the kind of handshake that breaks the other person's bones, but it ought to be firm. You ought to come in and smile. And don't be afraid to be enthusiastic, because enthusiasm makes people feel good, and enthusiasm sells. We don't make stuff here. All we have is our people. And to the extent you're involved in recruiting, you have a very real ability to shape the future of the firm. And you know, we do it one class at a time. We do it 1 year at a time, and over the long haul, that's how we guarantee that Baker & Daniels is going to be around for another 100+ years.